You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Several Palestinians are killed in Gaza due to Israeli shelling as international warnings stress that the food stock will run out if the siege on the Gaza Strip continues. Dozens killed and wounded in clashes between security forces and militants in western Syria. And the total credit balance granted by the Omani banking sector increases by 6.7% at the end of December 2024, reaching 32.5 billion Omani riyals. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. Clashes erupted between Palestinians and Israeli occupation forces during their storming of the city of Nablus in the northern occupied West Bank. In the Gaza Strip, 2 Palestinians were killed as a result of the shelling by an Israeli drone east of the city of Rafah in the southern Gaza Strip, and a third was killed by Israeli army fire in the Tanura neighborhood in Rafah. Meanwhile, the occupation army continued to prevent a humanitarian aid from reaching the Strip through the Karm Abu Salim crossing for the 7th consecutive day after Israel refused to move to the second phase of the ceasefire agreement. From its part, the World Food Organization warned of the effects of the continued closure of the crossing as its stock is only sufficient for 2 weeks. Syria's interim president Ahmed al-Shara said in his first comment following violence in Syrian coastal areas that Syria will pursue the remnants of the ousted Bashar al-Assad regime and bring them all to trial. He called on his security forces to avoid exaggeration or overreaction and said the remnants of the fallen regime would be brought to fair court. Syrian security forces battled for a second day to crush a nascent insurgency by fighters from the fallen regime in western Syria, with scores reported killed. Israeli warplanes launched a series of raids targeting a number of areas in southern Lebanon. According to Lebanese sources, the Israeli aggression targeted a hill in Jabal al-Rayhan in addition to Al-Hamdaniya area located between the towns of Kafirwa and Azza in southern Lebanon. These raids didn't result in any civilian casualties, but they are considered the biggest violation of the ceasefire agreement between Lebanon and Israel signed last November. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has accused Russia of not caring about peace after launching a massive airstrike on his country. Zelensky said in an official address that Russia targeted energy and civilian facilities to paralyze normal life in Ukraine. The Ukrainian Air Force reported earlier that Russia used 194 drones and 67 missiles in a joint attack, shooting down just over half of them, while a third failed to reach their targets and caused no damage. Heavy rains in the Argentine port city of Bahia Blanca, southwest of the capital of Buenos Aires, left at least 10 dead and caused substantial flooding. More than 260 millimeters of rain fell within a few hours, destroying bridges and causing asphalt roads to collapse. The storm forced the evacuation of homes and health centers in the major commercial port city, some 600 kilometers from the capital. Meanwhile, Economy Minister Luis Caputo said that the government authorized $9.2 million of financial aid for Bahia Blanca, home to 300,000 residents in Buenos Aires province. Still to come on News Bulletin. In a Ramadan atmosphere full of spirituality, the 8th edition of the Ta'aruf event gathers Muslims and non-Muslims in an iftar table. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The total credit balance granted by conventional and Islamic banks increased by 6.7% at the end of December last year to reach 32.5 billion Omani riyals. Data issued by the Central Bank of Oman indicated that the credit granted to the private sector recorded a growth by 5.9%, reaching 27.1 billion Omani riyals by the end of December last year. The standards and metrology sector has achieved remarkable progress, driven by strategic plans and qualitative initiatives aimed at enhancing the quality of products and services and increasing competitiveness in local and international markets. The Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion indicated that several initiatives are scheduled to be launched this year, including the standardization and quality strategy for the period from 2026 to 2030, with the aim of expanding the list of products on the unified electronic platform for standardization services, implementing quality management systems, in addition to launching the market survey plan for 2025 and issuing new specifications, including water meters, smart bricks, and precast ceilings. The 8th edition of the Ta'aruf event was held this year under the theme, "The Quran is for every soul." Gathering Muslims and non-Muslims during the holy month of Ramadan, the event aimed to introduce the teachings of Islam to non-Muslims and act as a platform for inquiries regarding the Holy Quran and other Islamic practices. It also included a visual presentation on the miracles and the beauty of the Holy Quran, with the focus on values of mercy and coexistence. It was organized by the Ministry of Endowments and Religious Affairs in cooperation with the Hidayah Endowment Foundation at the Oman Convention and Exhibition Center. Group iftar tables in Al Khatwa village in the wilaya of Al Muhadda is a Ramadan tradition that the villagers are keen to maintain constantly. Such gatherings are influenced by authentic Omani customs and traditions that are manifested in their most beautiful forms in an atmosphere of harmony and togetherness. Locals in Al Khatwa village usually gather in tourist places preparing their Omani dishes for visitors who come to enjoy the attractions in the village. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's news bulletin, here are the main points once again. Several Palestinians are killed in Gaza due to the Israeli shelling, as international warnings stress that the food stock will run out if the siege on the Gaza Strip continues. Dozens killed and wounded in clashes between security forces and militants in western Syria. And the total credit balance granted by the Omani banking sector increases by 6.7% at the end of December 2024, reaching 32.5 billion Omani riyals. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin from all of us here at the newsroom and the studios. Thank you for watching and have a good night.